Hello, welcome to Torch.co UK. Today we're doing a review of the Astrolux A01. So, purchased this from Banggood. It's taken just over 2 weeks to come, which I'm happy with because that's what was advertised, so I expected it. This is now the 7th flight that I've ordered from them. They've all come in good condition, they've all come within the time specified. It's not lightning quick delivery, but they don't promise that, so it's fair enough. So Astrolux, the packaging is typical of Astrolux, very simple. It's just a cardboard box. It's well made, thick, sturdy, and suitable as a gift light. A chamfered shape just down the side, just to make it easier to open. So they like to put little touches in there. There you go, there's the inside, all tucked away nicely. User manual. And for the eagle-eyed viewers who noticed it said Nichia 219C in the instructions, it is a 219B emitter in there. So let's have a look. I've not actually had a look at these yet. Yeah, all looks very simple and clear. So 120 that max lumens from a Nichia 219B LED. Some more examples there. There's the ANSI ratings. Hope you can read those. This actually has a bit of conflicting information here, because over here it says max 120 lumens output. I imagine that must be the initial output when you first turn the light on with a full battery. ANSI ratings are at 30 seconds, so that is stated as 102 lumens. So that'll be why there's a difference there. Astrolux obviously giving the very max output, and ANSI is 30 seconds later, which is why it's 18 lumens less. So yeah, IPX8 rated, impact resistance 2 meters. So yeah, great. And that's what we're left with. So silica pouch, tiny little package in here. What have we got in there? That looks like a little split ring and a spare O-ring. So everything. Yeah, that's everything it comes with. Held very nicely in there with that foam, and there is the light itself. I went for red this time. I don't know why. I don't like coloured anodizing. I should have gone for black, but there we go. Anodizing is flawless in this one. Not a single mark on it. Seems good quality. Hole for a split ring at the end, or lanyard. If you have a lanyard on there, it won't tail stand. In fact, unless it's a large split ring, it won't tail stand with a split ring, but it's predominantly meant for being on your keys anyway. All the decals on the light are perfectly clear, very sharp, so that's a good quality. And there we go, there's the bezel. Doesn't look like we've got anti-reflective coating on the lens, could be wrong. It doesn't say anything in the description, but there's the Nichia LED down at the bottom. Slightly orange peel reflector in there as well. So it's a twisty, so it twists on and off to operate, and obviously opens up for the battery. I'm just using a cheapo rechargeable AAA in there. I believe it's only nickel metal hydride or alkaline batteries that you can use in this AAA. I don't think you're supposed to use lithium ion, although I have read that people have used them. It's not recommended. So, I'll take a view. There are the threads. They came greased. The O-ring is a little loose. I would have preferred that to be a little tighter, but we'll get to that a little bit later on, because you can be far too nitpicky with this light. So, but we'll talk about that. And there is the barrel of the light, if you like, really thick. You compare that to something else like I've got the Olight i3 EOS here. Look at the difference there. Really bulky like this. It might be a good thing, because this will need heat sinking. With it having a Nichia HCRI LED in there, they produce a lot more heat because the lights work, the LED's working harder than the apparent light output would suggest. Because it's HCRI, it has to produce a much broader spectrum of light, and that includes light that's not so visible to the human eye. So when I say it's apparent, it's because we can only appreciate the light that we can see out of it, but it's working hard on those other aspects of the spectrum so that it produces and renders colours nicely, which is why they get hot for their apparent output. There's the inside of the head. I did notice a little bit of solder on the contact in there, so not the tidiest job I've ever seen, but it doesn't impact the use of it. It still works absolutely fine. I don't think I can get any closer. So yeah, build quality, the workmanship, that's the only thing I could say. That little blob of solder there could have done with being removed, or not there at all. But the build itself is very good. Built like a little tank, these things, so I'm happy with that. Battery fits in nicely. I'd read that some people had problems with tight barrels. This isn't. There's enough there. That's absolutely acceptable. That, and then your threads are smooth. There's plenty of them. And there we are on at Moonlight, which should be a sub, yeah, 0.14 lumens. It's rated out on here. Certainly below 1 lumen it is. And then you have a medium mode at listed as 7 lumens. That's more than enough for going around the house at night. To be honest, the Firefly is enough for moving around the house at night if you just need to wake up to check on something, nip to loo, whatever. The medium mode is more than adequate, and then twist again for your high mode. Right, something that does bother me with this light is there's no mode memory. So I've just switched that off on high, and we're on to Firefly again. So every time you turn it on, you need to flick through and get to the mode that you want. If you flick through the sequence, oh, missed it there, twice, then you get strobe. I don't like having to do that, because as I've just demonstrated, it's very easy to miss it and skip past it. I'd rather it was a double click to go to a hidden strobe rather than running through a sequence. But at the end of the day, it's only a keychain light. It's not particularly bright. I wouldn't have even bothered with a strobe mode on this, but there we go. Okay, I keep putting it upside down. So yeah, I mean, I'm impressed with the build quality so far. The fact that there's no mode memory is a bit of an annoyance, but I mean, ultimately you can't expect too much from this. I paid less than £6 delivered for this light, so it was delivered from China for less than £6. You cannot buy anything else of this quality anywhere near that price. Just to give you a couple of examples, this thing here I bought from a local shop, Maplin. It was £4.99. I bought it just because I like the style of it, but it is the cheapest piece of rubbish you'd ever see. The tint is horrible, the output is absolutely naff. It's about 20 lumens or something pathetic. The switch is horrible, the threads are horrible. I just like the look of it. So between that at £5 and that at about, I think it was £5.84 delivered, that it's just like night and day. They're so different. The quality of this is massively better than this shop bought thing for a £5. This one here is a silver point. This was dearer, this was £8. It's a AA, but the output is very similar between the two. I think actually this is still brighter. So this was £8, and again, doesn't have a great tint, very blue. Build quality isn't as good. It's not terrible for the money, but it's nowhere near as good as the Astrolux. So really, to get anything like this sort of quality for the money that they're putting these out at is just incredible. So please don't be too put off by the negative points. I just want to tell you them so you know. But please don't get me wrong. This is easily worth the money. Easily, to get a Nichia LED and the build quality and the finish is astonishing for the price. Right, beam profile. So let's just, I don't think I'll get the beam profile on this. No, I won't. I'll put an overlay of a different beam pattern on a white wall, because what I wanted to show you was the beam pattern isn't very good on this. It's very ringy. It's quite a tight hot spot for use indoors, which is for me where I was intending to use this most, just with nice warm, oh it's 4000 Kelvin by the way, so a nice warm white neutral tint, 90 CRI, so it's high CRI, decent colour rendering, just for around the house for getting about at night. But I don't like the rings in the spill beam. It's really apparent indoors, not so much maybe outdoors I wouldn't have thought, but definitely indoors you can see them, and I don't like that. But I do have to keep telling myself it was less than £6, and as far as I can tell, it'll last a long time. It'll get beaten up and it'll be able to withstand a lot of use. Whilst running this on high just now, it is starting to get warm. There is a lot of mass in this light, and the heat sinking does appear to be really quite decent in this. From what I've seen on the forums, and people have dismantled them, they're well put together, so the heat from the LED should get spread throughout the body quite well. But that does get hot very quickly on high. What's it been on now? Less than a minute, and that's warm to hold. Warm but not uncomfortable yet. We'll keep it going. As I say, it's a Nichia LED in this. It is a small light. The Nichia do produce more heat because they're working hard to render those colours. So that's why they produce a lot of heat for the output that you actually get that's noticeable. So it's forgivable. It's something like an XPG2 LED in here, low CRI, would produce a lot less heat, and you'd be able to run it for longer without getting that build up. But you lose out on the colour rendering. So it's a compromise. It's not a fault. It's just the way it is. It's just physics. So that's what you'd say hot, but it's hot throughout the whole light now, so you can tell that the heat sinking is decent. It's not just it's withdrawing the heat away from the LED, and it's going throughout the whole body of the light, and it's letting the heat out. So yeah, that's hot. Still not uncomfortable, but hot. So it's just something to bear in mind. I think you get 30 minutes on the high. Obviously during that time the output will diminish slowly. Can't keep 100 lumens going for 30 minutes, that's not possible. So it will diminish over time until it just can't sustain any output any longer, and it'll drop right down. But that's hot to hold, not uncomfortable, and that was on for what, a couple of minutes. So that's more than enough to get I don't know, from your car to your house, or just down a dark alley or something like that on your way home. So it's fine. So overall, very happy. Have I got any more points to mention? No, I don't think I've got anything else to mention then. It's a nice light, nice output, nice tint, renders colours really nicely. It's not too warm. One of my other videos, I've got MSR D4S with 3000 Kelvin high CRI. LED in it, and that was too warm for me. This is 4000 Kelvin, so it's still warm, but it's much more pleasing. It's not quite as yellow, so it's just a sweet spot really, the 4000 Kelvin. I know a lot of people would prefer 4.5, 5000 Kelvin to get more true to daylight, but I like the warmer side of things. Turn it upside down. So yeah, I'll do some beam shots. I'll probably put some photographs as well of this compared to say the Olight i3E, which is here, and then you can see the difference between the two LEDs. It's never perfect. It's hard to get them perfect compared to what you see with the eye, but I'll certainly get it as close as I can. And there's the size difference between them. So it's got a Luxion LED in there. The difference in mass is a lot more mass on that, but it needs it because of the Nichia LED. So yeah, nice light, definitely recommend it. For the money, it's just a no-brainer. I can't believe you can buy that quality for less than £6. It's delivered. It's nuts, absolutely nuts that. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description where you can buy it, wherever I bought it from. Please bear in mind that you do tend to hold on a little bit longer for delivery, but the amount that you pay is just makes more than makes up for it. It's worth the wait, well worth the money. So please check them out.